Alright, Mr. Shank here. We're going to go through the answers on this quiz. So as we do this, make sure you are correcting your work, and if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and rewatch any portion that you need to. So number 1 says, which parallelogram has an area of 60 square units? So it's just one answer here. Okay, one thing we need to keep in mind is parallelogram, we find the area by multiplying base times height. So look at these parallelograms, letter A, here's your base, here's your height. Remember, we're looking for that 90-degree angle. So 10 times 12 is 120, so it's not A. Go to B, right? The base is right here, so our height with that 90-degree angle is 10. So on that one, 6 times 10 is 60. Okay, so that one seems to match, so that would be our answer. And you can kind of look at the other ones here, and on C, 15 is your base, 12 is your height. That would be more than 60. And on this last one, if here's your base, 6, your height is going to be 6, so that is an area of 36, so it's only one answer, and that's B. Okay, moving on. So number 2, select all triangles that have an area of 30 square units. So what you need to remember here, to find the area of a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. Right? A lot of people are forgetting that formula and forgot to divide by 2. So when I do this first one, right, it's going to be 6 times 10 divided by 2. And that's 30. So A is 1. Right? Go to this next triangle. Here's your base, and your height is 8.66. Okay, if I multiply that out, 10 times 8.66, and divide by 2, right? It's definitely not 30. It's going to be something like 43.3. So B is not one of them. Right? Go to C. When you look at this triangle, your base is going to be right here. So your height is where the 90-degree angle is made, which is 6. So that's 10 by 6 divided by 2, which is 30. So that one works. So far we have A, C. Okay, we can check these next two. All right, D, here's your base and height. So that's 6 times 8 divided by 2, which is 48 divided by 2, which is 24. So not D. And this last one, right, this tricked a lot of people. Here's your base and height. So 3 by 10 divided by 2 is 15, not 30. So only two answers there were A and C. All right, moving on. So this one, select all parallelograms that have an area of 16 square units. So again, you need to keep in mind, for a parallelogram, you're trying to find the area by doing base times height. So if you just count all these and count the bases of heights, this one is a 5 by 3, which is 15, so that doesn't work. This one is a 4 by, remember, count straight up, 4, so that's 16, so that one works. C is a 2 by, if you count all the way up, 8, which is 16, so that works. And then lastly is a square, which is 4 by 4, that equals 16. So that should be B, C, and D. All right, on the next problem, number 4, you had to draw in some heights where the base is given to you. So if that is your base, remember your height needs to go up at a 90-degree angle. One way to draw would be just go straight up at a 90 until it meets that very top point. So that would be my height right here. Okay, you might also draw going this way. Put the 90, still the same measurement, but those lines would be our heights. You only needed one. All right, number 4, your base is now this side. So it would help if you could turn your paper around. So that's on the bottom, and if you go up at a 90, it should be about like that. All right, so that would be your height. Okay, number 5. So you needed to draw 2 parallelograms, no rectangles or squares, both with an area of 18 square units. So I would think you would have done either a 9 by 2, because that equals 18, or a 6 by 3, because that's 18. I mean, you could have also done an 18 by 1. All right, so for your parallelograms, if you need some help drawing these, I'm gonna draw 6 by 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my base 6. Okay, and I'm gonna go up and make the top 6. But if you notice, I kind of slid that line over. So now I'm gonna connect these 2 points. Using a straight edge would help you here. Okay, and now I have a 6 by 3 parallelogram. So its area is 18. So you need to draw 2 of those, and the next one needs to be a little different. So I'll show you a pretty easy way to do that. I'm still going to use the base of 6, but I'm going to slide over that top a little bit more. So if you notice here, I slid over the top just went over 1. This time I slid over 2, so that is actually a different parallelogram, but it's going to have the same area. Still has a base of 6 and a height of 3, but the parallelogram itself is different. Okay, so moving on. Number 6, you have to find the area of this figure. So at first glance, you should look at this and see that it is not a parallelogram, not a triangle. It's a composite figure, meaning it's made up of several different shapes. So what you should be looking for is how you could split this up. So one way I see that would work is to split it like this. So all I did is I just made some triangles and rectangles. Now I should be able to use my formulas to find the area of each part. Okay, so the rectangle here in the middle, that'd be the easiest. You could count those squares. There's 12. Okay, so I'm going to go to this triangle on the side, which I'm going to just make kind of pink here. Okay, so you could either like decompose, rearrange these pieces, but I'm just going to stick to that triangle formula. And I'm going to count the base, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to count the height, which is 2. Okay, so that triangle would be 4 times 2 divided by 2 equals 4. All right, let's go up. I'll do this triangle up here in orange. Again, you could use rearranging, decomposing, but I'm just going to stick to counting the base and height. So here's my base. I get 7, and my height is 2. So that triangle would be 7 times 2 divided by 2, which is 7. This last one here in purple. Okay, on this triangle, I'll show you just another way I see it. It is, if I make a square, 4 by 4 square. So that whole thing would be 16, but I'm going to divide that by 2. So that triangle there would be 8. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add up my circle numbers. 12 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8. And that'll give me my final answer, which is 31. Then we're going to label it units squared. Okay, number 7. It says the figure is a diagram of a wall. Lengths are given in feet. So how many square feet of wallpaper would it need to cover the wall? Right, so I saw a lot of people just do this. 9 times 8 equals 72. Okay, you can't do that. This is not a rectangle. So what you need to think about is how could you split the shape up? One way I see it would be right here. So I'm basically making, and I'm going to go color code this, down here on the bottom, I have a big purple rectangle. I'm going to find the area of that by doing the length times the width. So that would be 8 times 6, so 48 would be this rectangle on the bottom. Okay, it leaves me with this triangle, which I'm going to color in orange. Okay, so right now there's really no numbers labeled, so we have to do a little thinking. Right, I know this base is the same length as down here, so that should be 8. And now I need this height. Well, I know the whole line here is 9, and this little section is 6, so I should be able to do 9 minus 6, and this height is 3. So for my triangle, it's going to be 8 times 3 divided by 2. That's 12. So now I can just add these two up, and that equals 60, and then we can label it feet squared. All right, for number 8, you have to find the area of this figure below. It looks like a big H. So the same thing is going to work here, where I'm going to split it up. And there might be more than one way to split this, but here's the way I see it right now. So basically a rectangle here, length times width, is 12 times 4. So this rectangle's area is 48. Okay, over on the side, it's a 3 by, well, this side's not labeled, but if I look here, I know it's a 3 by 12. So 3 by 12 equals 36. Okay, and then I'm left with this in the middle, which I'm going to make red so we can see. A rectangle that we know has a length of 5, but I'm missing this right here. So what I look for is the other labeled sides that run in the same direction. So I know the whole line is 12, and I know this much is 5, that much is 4. So if I go ahead and do 12 minus 5 minus 4, which is like 12 minus 9, I get 3, so that gives me 3 there. So this is a 5 by 3 rectangle. Its area is 15. So now I'm just going to add up all my circled areas and get 99 meters squared. Okay, so number 9, the area of a parallelogram is 26 square centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little sketch here. Okay, its area is 26, the base is 4, so I need the height. Right, well, you can think about if we wrote a math problem, it would look like this. 4 times blank equals 26. So we've learned that we can solve this by just dividing 26 by 4, and you should get 6.5, and that's labeled centimeters since it's just a height. All right, for number 10, you needed 2 reasons why the shape is a polygon. So I'm just going to list them here. One thing you might say is that it has straight edges, no curves. Right. Second thing you might say is that it's 2-dimensional. Right. You'd also possibly talk about it being closed and that it's a single shape / area. All right. So any of those 4 reasons would have worked. You just needed 2. All right. So number 10. Kind of a trick question. Which triangle has the greatest area? Explain the reasoning using words such as base, height, and area. So you have to remember for a triangle, to find its area, we do base times height divided by 2. So if you go ahead and look at triangle A, its base is 2, height is 4. Go to triangle B, its base is 2, its height, well, remember we go straight up, is right there. It's also 4. Triangle C has a base of 2. Look at the height. Goes straight down, makes the 90. If you count that, it's also 4. And triangle D has a base of 2 and a height of 4. So the real answer here is that they all have the same area. Because the bases are 2 and heights are 4, and that's going to give you the same area if you use your triangle formula. All right, so last one here, you have to find the area of each triangle. So you need to keep in mind we do base times height divided by 2, so we just count. It should be 4 by 5 divided by 2, that's like 20 divided by 2, which is equal to 10, and then label it units squared. All right, and then this last one, you had a few different numbers you had to differentiate between. Here's your base, and your height goes at the 90-degree angle, so is 4, so it's going to be 12 times 4 divided by 2, and that's 48 divided by 2, and that is 24 units squared. All right, so I hope this video helped you and you can do better on the test. Thanks for watching.